You're listening to the Best Advice Podcast, guys. If you haven't already, give us a 5-star review and help spread the word. And if you have a question for the guys, email a voice recording to podcast@bestadvicepodcastguys.com. That's podcast@bestadvicepodcastguys.com. Today's episode is brought to you by Security Financial Management. If you're ready to level up your financial game, SFM offers a free initial consultation after each episode. Just send an email to podcast@bestadvicepodcastguys.com with the subject line complimentary consultation to book yours today.
Welcome back to Best Advice Podcast, guys. I'm your host, Rob Lovaglio, here as always with Frank Lovaglio, and Dad, it's just me and you today.
That's it.
We are dropping like flies today, man. We have Dave and Mitch in Austin out of town, right? Where are they? Nashville?
They're everywhere.
Everywhere. They are everywhere.
Hey, but the two best are left, so
yeah,
let's rock.
We got the A-team today,
That's
guys.
it.
I pity the fool.
Per usual, we like to start our episodes with a powerful practice of positive thinking. So, Dad, it's only me and you. One of us has got to do it. I think I'll go.
All right, you do it. You go for it. But with that, then give me something good.
Give me all you got!
That's not bad.
So for today's something good, it's going to be more like an exercise, right? It's going to be called the silver car test, Dad. So I'm going to ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
So how many silver cars did you see driving here today? Like, and I mean, not like kind of saw, like you can think of a silver Mercedes or you can think of a silver Impala when you're driving over here.
Well, since it's only about a 2-mile drive, I did see a silver Honda. And I did see one. So I'm going to say 2.
Wow, you remember that?
I do remember.
That's pretty crazy.
Because it was kind of had a cool back to it.
Okay, so interesting.
2 of them.
Now, before you left the house today, if I would have told you, hey, every silver car you see and you can verify that, you're going to get $100,000 in your pocket.
I saw a lot more silver.
Yeah.
It'd been a sea of silver.
But if I told you that before you left, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it would have started appearing out of thin air, right? Silver, like all of a sudden you would see all these silver cars.
And I would have taken a much longer way to the office.
Yeah. That's funny.
I might have gone to New Smyrna and hooked around.
The point here is simple, but it's impactful. Just like the silver cars, your opportunities in life are all around you, right? It's just if you're looking for them or not. But if you're not looking for them, they're going to pass by just like every other silver car that passed by you this morning.
That's definitely true.
This experiment shows us the fundamental truth about human perception. When we are not consciously looking for something, our brain filters out most of our senses. It's basically a filter mechanism that helps us focus on what's important right now. So how do we let these opportunities stop passing us, right? How do we create a winning mindset to actively pursue opportunities? The answer is pretty simple. You just got to find a way to keep your biggest priorities in the front of your mind, right? Some people do this by writing down their goals. Some people do this by visualization. Some people do this by manifesting it. However you want to keep your biggest priorities at the top of your mind is completely up to you, but it really only takes a couple minutes a day to remind yourself of these goals. And this is going to automatically focus your thoughts and energy in that direction. I'll leave you with this on this Give Me Something Good today, Dad. It is the eyes see only what the mind is prepared to comprehend. And that is my Give Me Something Good.
I like it.
Let's get to the question of the day. Today's question comes from Joey from Altamont. Joey, what you got for us?
You want to say something?
Hey guys, I noticed that the market really rallied at the end of last week, and it seemed based on softer employment numbers. What does that really mean? Thank you.
Thank you, Joey. So today we got one expert. We only got one, Dad, so you're going to have to come in with a work right now. Go ahead and take off for us.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm used to that. We're going to go for it. So, good question, Joey. And a lot of people are wondering what happened. The market was getting beat up really bad in April, and then late last week and really into yesterday, Monday, it was better. And so part of that question is, what happened? We had a softer jobs report. And it's very interesting because the Fed is in a very tricky spot. You've been hearing about this for, over a year and a half, about this soft landing. And what does that soft landing mean besides coming in your truck and not beating up your gravel. But from an economic standpoint, that means that the Fed was able to manage its way through this higher inflation, but also be able to increase rates in a way that it doesn't put the economy into a recession. So they've been on a tightrope now for at least a year and a half.
Is it kind of like a seesaw? Is that how it works?
I don't know if it's more of a seesaw than it is a tightrope. And basically what they're saying is, and the reason for this most recent upmarket here in the last couple business days is the U.S. economy added fewer jobs. And normally you'd say, well, how's that good? Well, again, they're on this tightrope between not putting us in a recession, but also being able to come back because they raised rates so many times recently. They're really what the economy wants and what really the stock market wants is lower rates, because lower rates means borrowing costs are lower. So if we can get inflation in check, then the Fed will lower rates. So by having a softer job reports, that was good. So bad is good. It's kind of crazy.
Wild.
Wage growth unexpectedly cooled. So you had less jobs and then wage growth, meaning, higher dollar per hour wages and increased salaries. That slowed a little bit. So that's what they call kind of a Goldilocks moment. Okay, everybody remembers Goldilocks.
Yeah.
That was good. Goldilocks is a sweet spot for the Fed, meaning there's a softening labor market, but corporate earnings have been strong. Because if you look at earnings, at the end of the day, you can have there's a lot of noise out there, right? You got CNBC, you got the Hamas and Israel. That is scary. Is there going to be a world war? There's always noise, and there always has been noise. And the difference is, are companies making money? So then you have big companies, that whole big magnificent seven, which has been driving this market. Two big companies reported in the last week. Microsoft, who's took over Apple as the most the largest. They have $3 trillion now of net worth.
Wild.
Okay,
He got me invested in some kind of fruit company, and so then I got a call from him saying we don't have to worry about money no more. And I said, that's good. One less thing.
But both Microsoft and Apple reported here in the last several business days, and they both were positive, right? So people are like, can Microsoft keep this up? All this AI hype, and is it really hype or is it real? Well, in their cloud reporting, which is a big part of their profits, they showed that AI actually increased real sales. So what people want or what the market wants is AI is cool, but is it really working?
Yeah.
So in their Microsoft Word and some of their usable devices, they're actually saw a profit because AI helped them. That's big.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's big. So it's like alleged and then executed.
Yeah.
So is it really going to work? Well, Microsoft showed in their most recent report on their cloud computing that some of the AI they're incorporating is actually working. So wait a minute, this is real.
Yeah,
so the market likes that, right? So then NVIDIA sparks, right? And then Apple, who iPhone sales in China have been very soft, and all the doom and gloomers were saying, Apple's going to get slaughtered this quarter.
Yeah.
Watch out. Should you sell? All the analysts were weighing in. Well, what happened? They're wearable, the iPhone watch and the iPad and a lot of other areas that have been super profitable. And their service industry, think about how many millions of devices that they're using every day. And so, think about it. People come to work, they got an iPhone watch, they got their iPhone, then you plug it in your car.
I saw this guy at the on court side of the court, the playoff games, NBA. I saw a guy on court side, and he had those big new goggles on, right?
Oh, yeah,
and he was standing up, and he was moving his arms. I'm pretty sure Apple had to pay him to do that because it was marketing.
Yeah,
but
nowhere,
it seemed like that didn't do well. But even when they didn't do well, it seems like they're doing well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
To that point, Robert, that device is starting to take off a little bit. So they were actually down 10%. China's sales on the iPhone were down 10%, and China has just so many people. That's a big deal. But they made up for in other areas, and the market's like, hey. And then they bought back billions and billions of dollars of their own stock, which is the reason why the market likes that's a vote of confidence, right?
Yeah.
We don't care about what you're doing, but we're going to buy billions of our own shares, so watch us win.
That's almost like insider trading a little bit. It's like we're going to buy our own stuff. Not really, but you know what I mean.
Because it's they're allowed to do it. It's the SEC registered. They have to apply for it.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is it's when a company says, we know we're so profitable, we're going to buy billions of shares,
Yeah.
then everyone's like, wow, that's they believe in themselves.
They see the day-to-day, too, so they
Yeah.
know more than anyone else does about what's going on.
Exactly. So, Microsoft reports, Apple reports, and earnings really are an important factor of driving the market. Again, there's noise everywhere, but at the end of the day, are these corporations making a profit? Because that's why we buy the stock, because if a corporation is profitable,
You're
it
profitable.
increases the share value. And that's what it's all about. So we're going to be brief today, but wanted to make sure we answered that question. Joe, hope that answered your question. And everybody have a great day.
Perfect, Dad.
Nice work, Frank.
Next week, we have a awesome special guest, and Matt Morgan, partner at Morgan & Morgan for the people. You're not going to want to miss that. Remember, folks, the secret to wealth is not what you earn, it's what you keep. Happy days, everybody.
This podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only and is not intended as personal financial advice. Before making any financial decision, please do your own research and consult a financial advisor as needed. If you have a question for the guys, email podcast@bestadvicepodcastguys.com.